Welcome back, everyone. It's your boy FPL Bisco. We're back for Game Week 11's preview. We've got a few things to look forward to. We'll recap over what happened in Game Week 10. Everything went well. It did for me. I hope it did for you. So like and subscribe before we continue on to the journey, and let's get on with it. All right. So this is how Game Week 10 went for me. I think it was a success. I got myself 78 points. We've moved up another green arrow to 200k or 212k, so it's not too bad. So Vicario was in goal. So this is the importance of saves. So obviously Raya is like the best choice goalkeeper. You're going to get your clean sheets every single week. The price is kind of high for me for any goalkeeper, and it's either 6 or 2. There's not a lot of chances to get lots of bonus points. Vicario didn't, he lost 1-0, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but he made enough saves. So I don't think the 2-point gap between Vicario and, let's say, a Raya was too much of a difference, but it was good enough. Instead of Dubravka you can't rely on. I'm gonna start him next week, funny enough. But Dubravka you can't rely on. I'm just really grateful Vicario got himself a decent enough amount of saves and didn't concede the 2+ goals, so he only gets the 3 points. So I was really proud of that. Captain Gabriel, which I was very like, whew, to not captain Haaland on any given game week is a bit of a risk. I'm not gonna do it again. That's a bit of a spoiler as well. But captaining Gabriel, it worked out just about. So I should have still captained Haaland, but that was only a 2-point swing as well. So I'm missing out on those extra 2 points, and they're adding up on the low because that means I've missed out on 4 points from decisions that were avoidable. But I was happy to captain Gabriel. Like, he got himself the assist from the near post flick on, the clean sheets, the defensive contributions is what's really separating him now. And I had just brought him in, so I've finally gone triple Arsenal. Burn really disappointed me. Now, Newcastle have been very, very funny of recent. They're not keeping clean sheets. They're not getting results. Watermada hooked at halftime. Like, that's not really what we want to see from Newcastle. They haven't been consistent enough. Like, they've been good. Dan Burn's been good. There's been like a holding midfielder revolution. We've got Caicedo. We've got Rice now putting up points. We've got Anderson was really popular at the beginning of the season, but even Casemiro's really chipping into the points at this point. I've been hearing all kinds of like names, and the real contributors this season have been from holding midfield. Bruno Fernandes is still contributing quite a lot from holding midfield. So whether that be because of the set piece threat that's come into the play, whether it be because of holding the defensive contributions really boosting, but the defensive mids are really holding up a lot of teams. That to say, um Timber was disappointed again. So 6 points. I can't be mad at 6 points. Like, between the two, that's 30 points just across my back line. 31 points over just the back three. It's good enough. The Kuiper, I don't think he's gonna play again for my club. Like, I think that's it. And then Senesi, 3 points. So he got the DEFCONs, didn't keep it. Well, obviously Man City's pummeled him, but he's back on the DEFCON train. So I'm gonna keep Senesi in, and he should be in for future reference. But the Kuiper is like, that's it. It's just a matter of time. He's gonna make it to the halfway point in the season, to game week 19, or at least until game week 16 when I get the 5 transfers. But it's just been a waste of time. No hard feelings or anything like that. And the same goes for Dewsbury Hall. He's played the last game for my club. I'm not putting him on my team. He might get points, he might not. Not all points are good points, and I don't cry. I'm done with him. Enzo disappointed me. Should have had an assist. I think at least an assist from what I remember, but I let it go. Declan Rice got himself a goal, 13-pointer. That's another one of the midfielders. So who is it? Rice, Enzo, Caicedo, Casemiro. There's one more holding midfielder I'm missing out, but they're contributing too much. And Burmo and Semenyo both put up nothing. Semenyo, now, a few of us are losing patience with him. We saw the talent. We know the talent is there. They're not putting up he personally is not putting up the numbers, but his performances haven't dropped off, at least to the eye. Statistically, yes, I can see where the numbers are not, like, he's not taking as many shots in the box, he's not taking as many shots, period. So yes, I get it, but he was really moments of magic type of goals, and plus some of the assist system is just bad. So he was getting points that maybe he didn't deserve. The bonus points were good. Not Brighton, Bournemouth as a team are better. So that's where this is becoming a bit of an issue. Krupi Jr. was putting up some of the numbers. Clivert coming back from fitness. We've just had, I think, Scott is now in the England squad. So a lot of other contributors have been doing good work for Bournemouth, whereby Semenyo hasn't needed to pull out the heroics as much. So it's a bit like, oh, we want Semenyo to score, but his price has gone up so much. There's going to be a time to get rid of him. I don't know if this is going to be a full season hold, but let's see for another couple of weeks. I won't do it now, definitely not now. And when AFCON comes around and Burma's not going to be here, Salah's not going to be here, Semenyo's still going to be here. Ghana didn't qualify. So it might even, there's, I'm a bit 50, I'm a bit like 50-50 on it. Depending on how Saka's form comes along, and then obviously I've got triple Arsenal now, but that is what would convince me. Because if I have to lose Semenyo and Mbeumo, who am I going to replace them with? Semenyo because of form and Mbeumo because of AFCON. So what am I really, like, where are my thoughts at the moment? And then Haaland got myself 13 points and Mateta got himself a 9-pointer. Mateta missed a penalty in midweek. I'm going to talk about that a bit later on. But all in all, it was a good week. Haaland absolutely crashed the life out of Bournemouth. I've said it already. So I was really happy with that. Now, my plans for this week coming up are a bit different. So I don't think I'm in a position to make a transfer, and I was really tempted to free hit. I have a potential free hit team which involved triple Chelsea, triple Palace, and triple Arsenal, but I'm not too sure. And I really wanted to free hit mostly because I just wanted to avoid any anything to do with the City Liverpool game. But I've only got one City player, so it's not really that big of an issue. So Senesi, this is what it looks like for now. So Senesi might start. And another issue is that everyone's playing away from home. So I've got Dubravka versus West Ham away from home. Those are two out of form teams. West Ham should win that game, but if Dubravka makes enough saves, I'll be okay with it. Danburn versus Brentford and double Arsenal defense, all away from home. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. And it's one of those, Sunderland are not a bad team. That's not a fixture to target. So even for, like, I've got Rice in my midfield, but even if you have Saka, that's not this is not the team to target. Saka should have scored last week. He played 90 minutes in midweek as well. So his goal scoring form is not up there. He's not necessarily a captaincy choice. So I don't have to go full throttle for any Arsenal asset really. So triple Arsenal feels a bit suspicious, and I would like to bring in Senesi just to cover it, but they don't concede. So worst case, if they don't concede a goal, that's what, 15 points plus bonus if I get it. But 15 points just raw, if no bonus, just 3 clean sheets. That's it. There's obviously potential for more, and there should be potential for goals. But Sunderland just haven't lost at home all season, and I don't want to be the one to jinx it. Enzo's the only player in my midfield playing at home. So that's Raz versus Sunderland, Spurs away for United, and then Semenyo away to Villa. Obviously, Villa's had their European excursions in midweek. So yes, is this the right time for Semenyo to turn up? I don't know. I'm not in full confidence of it. But I looked at like the league. This is just one of those weeks. I'm predicting a low scoring week for everybody. This isn't the best of time. Like there's just a template for it. And what you do want, funny enough, is Palace and Chelsea. So and I just don't have enough that I feel like I'm missing out on a haul. And if I make the transfer, is there a transfer that I could make that I need to? I've got like 1.5 in the bank. I've got more than it shows on the sheet. So I could do it. Haaland versus Liverpool, Yao Pedro versus Wolves, and Mateta versus Brighton. So Yao Pedro, obviously, he's just come off, like he just scored, but let's not forget he's gone I think it was about 5 weeks not scoring. So it's not all is forgiven. It's just we're gonna let this one go. He's for the people that kept him long enough. If you've got Walter Wilder versus Brentford, hooray for you. If you've got there's no strikers that you want at them, and which was a big part of why I ended up not selling Yao Pedro. I was like, there's more points elsewhere for me. So where I think the main issue here is who will I captain. So if I look at the fixtures, I've got Mateta as I would say my first choice. Gabriel, since it went well for me last week, I've got no problems with him. And it's not to say that I don't think like the honourable mentions will be Saka and Haaland and Bowen. Funny enough, there's goals there if you want to take a punt. Saka, I believe, is still a risk. A, because Sunderland are not weak at home, and B, because the fixtures after they come back are a bit weird. So I think they've got Spurs. I think they've got Spurs and Chelsea. So they're not as strong as they were in the first half. The first half of the season, they had Newcastle. I think Arsenal have played Liverpool. They played United. They played City. So they really, it's not the same. But that plus the fixture schedule, can they maintain these clean sheets throughout that period? So bringing Arsenal players in at this point for my team would be a bit weird. Then, but Mateta's just a striker to own. Outside of Haaland, Mateta is just the one. There's no doubt. I think everyone should have him in their team by now. He's just had one of those seasons. I don't, for some funny reason, I've not been amazed by it. He's scored some cracking goals and he's put up some amazing numbers. Like he's shooting all the time, he's getting big opportunities. Palace have always just scared me. There's just something about Palace that I just feel like this bubble is gonna burst, and it never does. Like that's how good Palace have been. So don't take my skepticism as I don't think Palace are that good. They are, like they really are. It's just how good. Like are Palace going for Champions League? Are Palace going for another like a top six finish? I think well, they won the FA Cup. That's how they got into Europe this time, and they should have been playing Europa League this year. I do forget, but how that if we're that confident to get triple Palace assets, and I remember the end of last season they were like really really strong. Glasner messed up my whole season with the assistant managership. So if they're that good, how like Bournemouth have been just as good. Sunderland have been just as good. So how, and I'm not tripling up on Bournemouth. I'm not tripling up on, um, I'm not going to triple up on Sunderland. It's not even in my mind to triple up on their defense, but they've been, why not? Like Shaka's a good option. Shaka, that's the other DM. So Um, but how like how much am I willing to invest in them? So anyway, Mateta being the one, I always wanted Ismail Assar because for the price point, I hear it made sense. But Mateta's been actually the second best striker in the league this season. It hasn't been close. Chris Wood hasn't been there. Ollie Watkins hasn't been there. Like Walter Marder's been good, but not as good as Mateta. Gyökeres has scored enough goals, but he's injured. So you're just left with Mateta. Bowen is just an option. Haaland is always an option to be captaincy. Liverpool, I think it's Liverpool at home. I would, if I was to predict, I'm going to predict a City win. Not because I think that City are even better than Liverpool. I just think just because they're at home. That's the swing of it. They score a lot during open play. They really play good football. Liverpool on the break can do a lot of damage, and if they're given that opportunity where Man City will play into the kind of football that Slot's been telling everybody that he wants them to play. If Man City do that, they're gonna have to execute, and it is quite difficult. Although Haaland is a beast, like if he can score two or more, but I don't want to bet on it, and I would rather bet on Mateta scoring versus Brighton at home more than one than I would do Haaland scoring versus Liverpool, even though they're both on pens. Mateta missed his pen. So because he missed, I don't even know if he's going to take the next pen. My next group of captains is Yao Pedro or Enzo. That's who I need to pick from. Funny enough, you might even pick Caicedo. You might pick Reece James. Nobody ever captains goalkeepers, but have you ever? Let me not even go down that road. I don't think that's ever been like a thing. But if you want to captain Sanchez, somebody let me know how that goes. He's not going to score, but when was the last time a keeper scored? I don't even remember. So Yao Pedro or Enzo. Yao Pedro, like I said, he just come off a drought. So has he gone on a drought and now he's come back into form and I'm really reliable, like likely to get another return from him back to back. We were getting back to back returns at the beginning of the season, so maybe it's possible. Enzo now, he's been close to these points. I don't know how he doesn't get them. Not DEFCON's just goals and assists, but somehow, some way, he just doesn't get them. So I think he's an option, but that might just be for my team. I have to really, I wouldn't say be cautious about it, but it's just something I should consider. Like it might be Enzo. My first choice is Mateta. I would say that Mateta would be my first choice, and that's the safest choice. Although Wolves, I think, well, Wolves are a weaker defense than Brighton, so that would be the fixture to attack. But do Chelsea have the players that I can rely on to attack that fixture? I'm gonna say no, but I don't want to have my heart frustrated by Brighton. Like Brighton are a weird team. They could beat Palace if things go. Like, you just never know on the day. They're just one of those teams. And Palace coming away from Europe, I'm very cautious to playing in Europe and then playing midweek and then playing at the weekend. I don't like those fixtures, and I've got too many players playing away from home. So those are my captaincy picks. We've gone through the team. I hope you guys have a great game week 11. Let me know how your teams get on. Comment down below. Like, subscribe, join the family. I'm not going to go to like the big screen. My face is too huge for it. And we're still quite a young channel. But thanks everybody for the support so far. So I'll see you guys soon.